Greetings, Dante, and welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Also known as the Dark Ages. The lights are all off. Yes, that's right, people. It's finally happened. We bottomed out on power. I can't imagine what could have possibly caused this. Was it adding a ton of resources and atmospherics processing without adding any power? No. No, it couldn't possibly be the case. I am South African, by the way, if you didn't know. We are going to fix that today, because I have not been idle in between episodes. In fact, I've been studiously working away like a little mole man, digging and conniving and figuring out ways to do things that previously would have been considered irresponsible by a sane jury. What we're going to be doing today is expanding, and I do mean rapidly expanding. Oh, sorry, Dante, you came with me for no reason. Our power network. We're going to use solar panels for that, and we're going to follow an idea that came up in the comments section, and something I've done before, many times. Well, actually, I don't need these. I don't know why I'm taking them. Which was to, well, I'll show you. Let's not rehash this just yet. I'm going to fly up over here, and we'll take a look at our solar setup. As you can see, I've cleaned up the code that was here. Our logic stuff is currently waiting for recycling. We can see it, maybe? No, it's just down there in front of the centrifuge, waiting to be recycled. Too dark in there, can't see. And what are we gonna do to get that? Well, we're gonna panic a little bit, because as you can see, the sun has risen, and unfortunately, we've got no juice providing it with any power. As you can see, our solar tracking is not working. I have now moved that tracking to a script and confirmed that it does work. I will quickly show this to you. I was going to hopefully demo it to you live, but I don't think that's going to work out for us. If we head into here, you'll see that it is very heavily commented, and the purpose of this is actually because I think this is going to be the first one I put up on the workshop. I'm fairly confident this works. So there's a bunch of information about how you've got to orient your panels to make this work. It is not an adaptive piece of script. It is very simple. It just replaces the need for logic. So basically all we have is a solar sensor and the solar panels as our two variables. As our two devices, or two types of device. We have two variables, which is the vertical and horizontal angle of the sun, in this case the sun. We've then got a main loop. This is not necessary as we only have one function, but I built it like this because I do later want to add battery tracking functionality to this, and so that's why there's going to be space to add in, for example, another, we could call it battery. We could add in another function over here, and then I don't have to change huge swaths of the code. So that is that. You're welcome to pause this video, by the way, and read the comments if you want more details. Hopefully they make sense. Let me know if they don't, and I'll update them. Then, to get to the actual tracking, it's super straightforward. We load the horizontal angle from the sensor, and then we just send that straight to the solar panels. They don't need any math done on that. It's very straightforward. Unfortunately, the vertical tracking does require math, which, of course, as we know, is terrifying. We load in the vertical angle, we add 90 degrees to it, and then we send that to the solar panels. And you're done. You could probably avoid this step by figuring out better orientations for these things, but this is just the orientation I've got them in, and so that's what the code does, and that's the code I wrote, and I'm not going to change my ways for you, no sir, no re. Okay, let's put that away. Let's move this to its new home, and let's actually pick up these solar panels, because they ain't doing jack for us right now. We could manually force them to do some stuff for us right now. If I do that, let's go to like 85 degrees. They should at least put in some juice. But of course, that's a bit moot because we are about to rip these things apart. So, crowbars. Oh, wait, wrong one. I gotta put you away, grab the glass, and let's grab this. Now, if you can see in the distance down there, back towards our, just past our wind turbines, you'll see a platform with a bunch of cabling on it. I have prepared the solar area earlier. And the reason I did that was pretty straightforward. It's because I didn't want to have to do it on camera, because these episodes are getting very, 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 very long, and I'm getting very, very scared of my editor's wrath. So, to cut it down, to save him from having to time-lapse the 15,000th, weld frame montage, we're just gonna do it like this. So basically what's happening, the backbone power that was feeding the wind turbines, which goes all the way to the base, still connects. It comes over here, it forks off into two places. We've got low power and high power. This is where the solar panels will output their energy, and this is where they'll get data. It's from the low power network, basically. You'll see that these go into the frames in places, and that's just to link them up. because of the way the solar panels fit next to each other, and because of the orientation issue, right? So if we have this one here, I wouldn't be able to flip this around and have power and power next to each other like this. It wouldn't work, because then this panel would do the reverse of everything I'm telling this one to do. Sorry, moved my mouse too quickly there. You get the idea. Basically, we need them to all be facing the same way. We need all their data ports to be facing 90 degrees. And so you got to put down 2 lines of power. I'm sure there is a way you could get around this. I believe in my Europa series, which was the first time I tried something like this, I just put down 2 different solar tracking networks. So one for each direction. And that let me pack them in much tighter. But we've got the space and we've got the resources, so I didn't see any reason to complicate things. We're just doing it this way. So we're going to make sure they're all oriented in the right direction. And these are connected up to the base. So as soon as we put the glass in, they will start producing a little bit of power. Although it might be a little bit too late in the day for them to actually give us anything just yet. How have I ended up with an extra panel? Okay, whoops, I guess we've got 24. Well, you know, waste not, want not. We put that over there. We can put it over here. Stick it on the side. Why not? That's not what I want to do right now, though. What I want to do first is put away this and grab this. So you are producing a little bit of juice, so let's get this in as soon as possible. So at the very least, we'll get something. Now, this design of this platform is not perfect. It's got some problems. The panels are too close together, so they will shade each other slightly. And the evening time, the ones at the back are not going to get any power. If you want to solve that, you need to build like kind of a stepped pyramid design, or you need to space them out a lot more. The stepped pyramid design does not work very well on Vulcan because the solar path does not really line up with the grid lines that the game works on. On Mars, it's way more viable. But this will just have to do for now. Now, I do also have a bunch of walls, and that is because we are going to seal this thing in. That's why I've built this as its own little platform, because we need to protect this from storms. And that is something we have been consistently battling, is our solar panels keep getting taken out. If we put them behind windows, they will lose efficiency. I think you lose about 13 or 14% last time I tried this on Europa. I don't know what it's like on Vulcan. But it will, we're going to vacuum it out in there as well. But it is ultimately not too much of a problem. With the amount of panels we've got here and the fact that they won't ever lose performance, you know, we can always just expand this farm, and that should hopefully be enough to sate the power requirements of the base. And actually, before I do anything else, the first thing we should put down is our solar tracking script, so we can at least get a little bit of juice out of that night path. And the way we're going to do this is, of course, just with a little bit of cable. Alright, and we just need to set this to be the solar daylight sensor. The rest of it should already be all wired up and looking pretty. And there we can chuck this in. And they should all orient to face the sun. Let's see. So they're going down. Are they rotating in the correct direction? Come on, baby. Yes, they are. All right, lovely. And as you can see, this one is like super shaded. Not great. Here we're getting 99% efficiency. I'll live with that. You're getting 79, and that's because this panel partially shades you. You got 79, you're at 20, 50, 50, 50, 50, 30. Yeah, so we'll lose a lot of power in the evenings compared to our previous setup of just like a straight line. That probably is still the best orientation, but this was just the most compact, simplest way I could do it that still looked visually vaguely interesting. So that's what we're going for. And of course, with these on top, they are actually going to lose even more power. It is worth noting, to protect your panels from the storms, it has to be a completely airtight enclosure, which means, yes, we are going to have to put an airlock in here in case we ever need to come in. It can be a simple airlock, doesn't have to be a fancy one. We're not like we're matching atmospheres. We just need a vacuum on one side and the atmosphere on the other. But it is just worth noting that you can't use the interior doors or whatever. You have to use sealed doors. If you allow any atmosphere exchange, the storm will damage the panels. I think the storm calculation is quite rudimentary. It's basically just like, is this exposed to atmosphere? Yes, it gets damaged. It's that easy. I hope I brought enough glass. We're about to find out. Okay, so there's the front door. We now just need to build our little entranceway. Still got 11 panes of glass, so we're all good. Probably probably do not need a window on both walls. We could just do a simple... Oh my god, could you work with me here? Thank you. There we go. Simple composite window there, and then a couple of walls here. And sure, we can build the Type 4 wall. When was the last time we did that? Oh, you know what? Give me the Type 3. Alright, then I did bring a pair of doors with me, and we'll do the glass ones, why not? Just for allow maximum light entrance. And then I think that's more... I think that's even more glass panels in places. And let's actually flip those walls around so that we can see what we're actually building in here. We could always pretty it up later. But I don't think we're going to be coming out here very often, I won't lie. So what do we need to build you now? A welding torch and plastic sheets. Smells delicious. I think I make that joke every single time. And there we go. 2 glass planes. Excellent. Planes? Panes. Definitely not planes. Okay, now we gotta just connect these to the low voltage network here, or low power network. I actually have no idea what the voltage is. And I guess we can do that right over there. So right now this will not take damage from storms, but there's no reason to have an atmosphere in there. So let's just go ahead and vacuum it out. Well, actually, that being said, is there any reason to vacuum this out? No, I don't think there is, because on Europa there was value in vacuuming it out because we had batteries inside the room. And they would discharge. I don't think there's any reason to vacuum this out. Oh, wait, I know what the reason is. It's going to heat up in the daytime, and it's going to eventually explode. The gas in there is going to get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and eventually go kaboom. Okay, no, we absolutely do need to vacuum that out for that reason. So I do have some spare active vents. We can go quickly print a passive vent, and we'll be on our way. At least we will. Until the sunlight rises, because I don't have any power. How embarrassing. I really need to give that thing its own power network, don't I? Okay, well, we can keep this closed for now, just in case there is a storm in the next few minutes. But we are just going to have to wait, I guess, for power to come back. Oh, wait, no, we don't. No, we don't. Hold on, I'm being dramatic. Well, I mean, yes, but we also just have the coal generator. I forgot about the incredible power of... oil-based electricity on another planet. I guess coal isn't really oil, is it? It's just like, it's like oil with fewer steps, or more steps, or something. I'm not a paleogeologist, okay? I'm just a guy. All right, and now, while we wait, we can actually pick up a whole bunch of this cabling. It's actually quite nice to get this back. Look at that, upcycling. Okie dokie, fantastic. That's all done. These are all dead, but that does mean that at least the power cables are at least coming back to life. So that's good. We have a long way to go. I need to go figure out why the Stirling engines aren't firing now. That's going to be the next fun piece of this puzzle. And we can actually crack open a lot of this stuff. And I just need to put one of these frames down one. Okay, have our solar panels turned to face the sun. Did they get enough juice overnight? They totally did. All right, lovely. And let's just go... Oh, well, we're not venting anything with that open. There we go. Let's just go have a look at what kind of production we're getting. So 37%, 93%. Okay, so they've lost 7% efficiency, not 14. I was doubling it in memory. You're at 95. That's 94. Oh, maybe there's no issues at all. It's when the window frame hits them. I guess the glass doesn't have any trouble. It's the window frame that's the issue. You're at 59%. You're at 40%. Honestly, I know it's not great, but we went from 6 panels to 24, so that alone is pretty gorgeous. We're at 132C in there. It's gonna take a while before it heats up to the same as all this, but yeah, not forever. Okay, I'm gonna do a tiny little bit more cleanup over here, and then we will go inside and see what we're doing next. So many green lines just running everywhere. I can't keep up with any of this, man. This is so much crap everywhere. It's so funny. Also, this is a oxygen line. Oh, sorry, that's a line just going straight into our greenhouse. This was built to buy some oxygen off a trader during that last episode. And it should actually be recolored. This should be khaki, because this is just sort of like generic whatever we get kind of gas, which for now has been, we've been representing CO2 and sort of mixed gas with the same color, which is probably a very bad idea, but here I am. This is me. There's nowhere else on Earth I'd rather be. Here I am, just me and you, and tonight we will make our dreams come true. Brian Adams, is that right? Are you sure about that, Brian? You lying piece of shit. Okay, in the previous episode, we did meet this guy. You got no juice, John. You got no juice. And it looks like we are out of power, but that's okay because we're probably recharging all of our bits and maybe even some of our pieces. Yes, in the meantime, for example, if I were to swap this out, that will now charge. Yeah, so the big batteries... Oh, no, go back on. The big batteries are presently being discharged, and they're being pumped into all of the dozens of small APCs we have scattered around the place. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So or did I just cut off power to my whole base? No, you are connected. You are not connected. Transformer on. But there is no juice in the big batteries, of course, of course. So why are you dead? Because no juice in big batteries. Is there a break in the power line? Yes. Yes, there is. Okay, so is this something I can... Is this something I have overshot? I thought that these cables could take 100,000 watts of power. Yes, they can. So why did that short out? Okay, now everything's back on in the base. Why did that short out? Did I accidentally connect the cable to itself? That sounds like something I would do. If you connect the output and input of power to the same network, it will cause a short. It's possible I may have done that. There's no way we can get more than 100,000 watts through there, right? 100 kilowatts? No chance. Hold on, I need to go get my network analyzer card. So, this is the trading transformer. You got 10 kilowatts. That makes perfect sense. What's the potential here? 10 kilowatts. Yeah, no, I don't know why that shorted. But I have a feeling it was probably got something to do with the way I built it initially. Because that shouldn't short out from overload. So I'm not entirely sure what caused that. Unless, how much do you put out? Coal generator. Solid generator? Solid generator. You put out 20 kilowatts of power. Still not enough to fry things. I don't know. Someone tell me what I'm doing wrong, because there's something. Okay, we're also going to take this vent, and we're going to go put it on that thing. It's way overkill, but it'll work. Yeah, as you can see, it's a little hot in here right now. We're at, it's already up at 163. I know I did let some hot gas in, but this is going to just continue heating up until it eventually explodes. So we're going to definitely want to vacuum this space out. Again, at some point we will put automation in here. It just isn't necessary at the moment. We want to set you inward, yes? Turn you on. You got nowhere to send it, right. I am going to have to go back outside just for a moment here. So we can do something like this. And then this, and this, and that. Okay, that should very rapidly pull a vacuum in this space, like within a couple seconds. Let's see. And it's done. I love that thing so much. Okay, siphon out all of this as well. And keeping this a vacuum, I don't think we'll ever need to build an airlock. That's just a waste of power. But keeping this a vacuum will be really easy. We just have to turn that vent on every time we come in here. All right. I think that's a pretty successful little solar panel build. Okay, so that's one major build for today's episode. What I'm going to do is another one. In between this recording and the next, because I had to take a break here, I gotta go to work, I'm going to put down the frame of a new greenhouse. That's right, I want to dramatically expand the amount of CO2 we process, the amount of oxygen we produce, and all that stuff. We're taking a brief sort of detour from the pool just to get that done. I don't know if it's like hypercritical that we do it right now, but I do know that in order to like meaningfully progress, we are going to need a lot more oxygen, and buying it is just not as feasible as I'd hoped it would be. So yeah, our current greenhouse is sitting just underneath this. This is our current greenhouse. And so what I'm going to do, basically, I'm going to move these stairs up a couple blocks. In fact, we can do that together right now. And we're just gonna try and reorient here a little bit, and hopefully get a more sort of sustainable setup going. Because right now we've been working on the same greenhouse we built at the very start of this playthrough, and I think it's wholly inadequate. So what's gonna happen is the current greenhouse, which is a 2x2, right, is gonna become like an entranceway, effectively. We're gonna have to move our water tanks, which does terrify me because I feel like they're gonna explode. Unless, hold on, well, how much is in this one? I don't think there's too much in this one. I can't see. I don't think there's too much in here. Oh no, oh no, oh no, my suit. My waste tank in my suit. Oopsie. Oopsie daisy. Boys, I have a feeling there's going to be a few more of us before this is done. Any chance my body's just right outside this door? Nope. Okay. We are naked and out of power. Ah, it'll be fine. Okay, what's the strat? We need to sprint to the greenhouse and grab the emergency suit before we die. Okay, vacuum is bad. Go, 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 go. Don't worry about the pressure rising. Get me in here. Put on that. Put on that. Maybe I live? I live. I live. Okay. Alright, we've just lost power, but we have a suit. We have a suit, and there might even be some oxygen in this room for all I know. Okay, power's back. Go, 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 go. We gotta get out there before a storm hits and blows my body away. The jetpack's still on. No! The door! The door! Hold on. If only someone, if only hundreds of people could have seen this coming. Can I grab that? Can I grab that thing right over there? Largely Unemployed is dead. Oh, I love this game. Okay. We're just gonna have to let in a little bit of gas as a treat. Could you give me this, please? I need to take that, take that, take that, take this, take these, and take those. Okay. Is my jetpack on? I can't tell. Hold on. V and scroll. No, I'm out of propellant. Okay, good. Good. Oh, wait. Swap the suits. I forgot about the waste tank. I forgot that's why we died. Okay. Easy, dude. I should really... My wireless headphones are dead, so I've been playing without audio this whole episode, which is how that came to pass. I should also probably be storing the suit in this room, huh? What do you guys think? Yeah, maybe that's a good plan. Oh, there's never a dull moment. There's never a dull moment. Okay, hold on. Minor crisis. You go there. This goes here. This, wait, goes there. That goes there. All right, now we can take off all of you. This goes into the pile. And I'm going to stash these just ready to rock wherever fits, really. Okay, so this is our emergency suit over there, which now has a proper O2 tank and a full battery. Great. And what's in here? Nothing except some propellant. Okay. And you are no bueno. You need to be opened up and vented out. Basically, just dump the O2 back into this room. Okay. What an adventure. Wowee. Wowee. And there is a bunch of gas in here, which is very annoying. It's going to take 1,000,000 watts of power to clean that out. We could also recycle all this logic. We weren't using it anyway, let's be honest. And we could also recycle all of these bits and pieces here. Wish we could if this was on. Okay, what are you recycling? Your logic processor, the iron sheets. There you go. Get the iron frames. You can have those iron walls. Just chop all that back up. All right, lovely. Wow, what a journey that was. That was a mission and a half, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's clean up the inventory, and then, like I said, I'm going to go probably lay down the footprint of a greenhouse. Or maybe I'll think about it a little bit. Maybe we need to work on the power more. Actually, hold on. Before I disappear, let's take a quick look at the pressure. So temperature's high. Temperature's high. This cable has Stirling engines currently running. If I were to swap my Atmos analyzer back in, let's just check here. Got 600C materials. How's the Stirling engines looking? Do we need more gas throughput? They're running. Why aren't I getting power? You're at pressure. You're making 1.5 kilowatts. Power is traveling through. I don't see any short circuits. We should probably put some fuses on this line, actually. That would be a good fix. So that those blow first. We need a fuse box somewhere. Yeah. This all looks fine. I did fix the pressure settings on this, so that should be a little bit quicker to move between rooms now. I don't know. You should be running. I mean, power is going to be declining. I don't know why I'm still out of juice. I must be shorting it out somehow. Okay, something to think about in between sessions here. All right, I'm going to be back in a bit, and we'll decide what we're doing next. We're either going to do the greenhouse, or we're going to work more on the pool room. Either way, I will see, or maybe we finally automate this space. In fact, I could chuck all that in there so that I remember to do it, and we can actually work on that next time we're out of a suit, maybe. I'll just throw this in there. Final bit. I promise at some point I will leave to go do my job. This game's so addictive, man. I'm just going to quickly set up a couple more canisters like this, so that we at least have even more O2 being backed up. That's as well as more jetpack fuel. I think that's a very good idea for a guy like me. You are being pumped in there. Yes, you are. Okay, great. And look at that. We did actually manage to charge up some batteries. Not all is lost. I mean, a lot is lost, but not all. We need more CO2 filters for our hard suit as well. Yeah, let's get those two pumping up to 18 kilopascals as well, just for a little bit of extra safety.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, snapping back real quick before we go set up our man cave, I wanted to show you that this is working. There's a lot of very annoying audio going on in the background with the storm, the warnings, and my man's heavy breathing. But as you can see, we are actually still producing power during the storm. Super cool. And the panel's taken no damage now that they're enclosed. So that is really, really great. It also doesn't look like the efficiency loss happens because of the glass. It seems to happen because of the frames. So maybe there's something to say about using iron walls, because they do have thinner edges. At least I think they do, right? So maybe you could get a little bit more efficiency building your solar panels in that kind of frame. But I mean, I think it's pretty moot. I don't think it matters too much. Now, we do have another problem, which is that this cable is completely overloaded. What's happening, and it took me quite a bit of testing to figure this out. I had to reload the save a few times. What's happening is that the batteries each can draw something like over 100 kilowatts of power in one go when they are trying to recharge themselves. And as you'll see, like over here, they will frequently burn themselves out again. So even if I replace this segment, what'll happen is it'll just burn out further down the line somewhere. And if I'm quick with this, if I'm super quick with this, we can actually see the potential draw on the line before it pops. So let's try this. So there you go, it's at 53 megawatts, and the batteries are charging. I think actually because we didn't replace the line further down, it doesn't matter. But basically what's happening right now is this wind turbine, this wind turbine, and this wind turbine are providing about 20 megawatts of power each, maybe 19 or 18, and the batteries are drawing that entire amount. into themselves, which means that if we have all 5 wind turbines plus the solar panels, it's just enough to blow the cables. So that is something we are going to have to fix in the next episode. We are going to have to probably, I think at this point, rewire the entire base. It might be time to just strip it apart. The wind turbines are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We haven't lost the cable in the past. So that makes me think that they produce just enough in the storm that they don't actually cause too much trouble. So how much are we producing on this end? We can't see how much we're producing. We can only see how much is demanded with this chip. So yeah, we're demanding 48 megawatts, and it's being provided. So yeah, we can tally this. So we got 7, let's call it 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9. So 3 8s and a 9. So what's that? No, 5 8s and a 9. So 40, 49, 50 kilowatts-ish in that range. Yeah. So each one of them was producing just enough to put a lot of charge into those batteries. But now, if we replace this, it shouldn't short again. Because I don't think we're pulling enough through the line now to be a problem. No, we're still giving 48 megawatts, and that's coming from the solar panels. So basically what was happening is the wind turbines plus the panels overload this line because the batteries can draw so much. Now, the batteries does scale with their charge, I believe. So if they're more fully charged, they will demand less along that line. Just like in real life. I don't know if that's something we can work around. We might just have to separate our inputs. So have 3 batteries charged by solar panels, 3 batteries charged by the wind turbines, or actually maybe just put both the solar panels and the wind turbines each on separate transformers that prevent the line being overloaded. So that could work. That could totally work. Oh, wait, hold on. There is one more thing I want to do before we go in for the day, and that is purchase all the water you have. So let's turn on that line. Let's talk to you. So we would like to buy... I'm going to buy like 20 at a time. Oh, I didn't have my money. I'm going to buy like 20 at a time because I'm a bit worried that there's like an internal buffer that gets overloaded when you buy too much. I feel like we lose water, and I don't know where it goes. But, you know, another, what's that, 52 liters? That's going to matter. That's going to matter a lot. All right, and we can get another 9? Yeah, another 9 liters. Okay, so this guy does sell steam, and it is pretty cheap. And he does... What temperature does that come out? 800. That's not that bad. And he does also sell water canisters and emergency water bottles. This is not the best value. This is pretty much identical in value, I think. So because we got 12 liters for 250, which ends up being about, what, $2 some change per liter. And this is 20 bucks ish per liter. And this is 18. It's bulk water is cheaper, but the bottled water isn't that much more expensive. So you should be draining. Yes, you are. As a network analyzer, that's no help. I'll just leave all that running. All right, lovely. I'm going to keep you on the pad for now because that guy did buy volatiles, if I remember correctly, which we could sell him. We'd have to pipe it over there, but if that gets us more water, easy choice, right? Because we're going to use that volatiles to make water anyway, so doesn't seem like too much of a bad idea to just swap them out. Let's just make sure all my tools are charged, mostly. Get the jetpack reloaded. All right, and let's get some water, do some programming, and then I think we're going to have to call this an episode, and we're going to have to pick this all up next time. Ah, the pile. We also need to build a shrine. That's going on the list. Now, as many people did point out, yes, there was a man in here, we should probably fill up on things like potatoes, right? And then top off with the soup, because that way we get the... There we go. That way we get the higher nutrition value. We're on 3 stars now, meaning that we should be able to get 125% water loaded up. It just gives us a little bit more buffer time before we need to think about it again. All right, and you are locked in. All right, so we need to automate this room, and there's a lot to automate on here. What things are we going to want to bring in to our controller? I would like to turn the fridge on when the temperature in the fridge is above 0, and turn the fridge off when the temperature in the fridge is below 0, basically. Actually, you know what? Let's quickly throw on the suit again. Grab my atmospherics chip for my tablet. Now, honestly, we just need to make the advanced tablet so we can have both chips in there at this point. And then what we will do is check out our... where is the Atmos Analyzer? Thank you. We will check out what's going on inside that fridge, and we'll know exactly which temperature we want to get to. And basically, I just want to shut the fridge off when we don't need it. The same can go for a lot of the other sensors in this room. Okay, so you are at -131. So let's put the... I think the primary thing we want to control is actually our wall cooler. So let's get that on here. Wall cooler. Let's get the fridge on number 2. What else do we want to control? Probably should swap out that CO2 filter. It's at medium. You know what? Why don't we just put that in our suit and give you a full one? That way we'll know when it runs out. And we need to print more CO2 filters. Okay, add that to the list of stuff to do. Alright, is there anything else we want to turn on and off in here? You don't need to be turned on or off. You're fine, because you get your power from this wireless battery anyway, so that's totally chill. I want you constantly running. It's easier just to keep it that way. We could turn off the pressure valve, but at the same time, just leave it on. We do probably want the airlock light on, to be honest. Okay, and the airlock runs itself, so it's really just like the wall cooler. That's kind of it, and we just need to talk to the gas sensor to do that. So you will be our... Well, I probably want the sensor on 1, man cave sensor, and then you can be the wall cooler over there. Okay, so we got fridge, wall cooler, gas sensor. Awesome. And then I do have an IC10 chip with nothing in it. And let's do a little bit of coding. I'm still not 100% about whether or not I want to publish this. Do you guys want this published? I did set it up so that it would be published. I believe that this is this one, if I'm not mistaken. Let's overwrite. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, cool. So I can clear this. Imagine it wasn't the one. That would be very funny. And we can start coding. So this is going to be our sensor. I'm going to keep this one super simple. That's going to be on D0. We're going to alias our fridge onto D1. And we're going to alias our... what's the other one? The cooler. Onto D2. Okay. So all we need to do here is some very simple math. Okay, so there's our loop. So how are we going to do this? Sensor, fridge, cooler. I want to load the room temperature into R0. The sensor temperature. We need to do some quick math on that to make that into Celsius so that I can actually think of it like a sane person. So we want to subtract from R0 to 73. Okay, and that's going to put that into Celsius. And then, you know what, just for my own sanity, let's just put Celsius over there. And then we need to check things. So I want to set R1. So set R1 if it's hotter than, if it's greater than 20, if R0 is greater than 25 Celsius, turn on the heater. If it's less than 25 Celsius, turn off the heater, basically. So this is going to be a super simple one. This is going to be, then we're going to set the cooler setting, on to R1. We've done this 100 times. It basically just turns the cooler on and off if this is correct. So if the temperature is above 25, it'll turn the cooler on. When the temperature of the room gets below 25, it'll turn the cooler off. Easy peasy, right? The next thing we want to do is we could set up room pressurization. Don't think we need to worry about that too much. The problem is we do get a bunch of extra oxygen in this space that we don't always want. We do need a return loop for that, but honestly we can just do that with the back pressure regulator, so never mind. Okay, so what else do we want here? We want to load the fridge. Let's look at the fridge's entry here. Large fridge. The Zigo Kool-Aid fridge. Hell yeah. So this is going to be our fridge. Does it have an internal temperature setting? It does. Okay, great. So we want temperature. Just simple temperature. So we're going to do the exact same thing we did here. We're going to load the temperature from the fridge. Okay. We're going to turn it into Celsius. We'll just use R0 for that again. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to say, turn the fridge on if it's greater than negative 130, right? So it's basically the exact same code. So you're going to just be, we'll go negative 120, get it in the right ballpark, and set fridge on to R1. So that should work. I think it's going to be that simple. So we're basically just looping this again and again and again. And let's just chuck a yield at the end so that we can stop too many bugs from occurring. That should be it. It should be that simple. And that should completely automate this space. Man, I really am so happy I finally learned how to code IC10. Okay, so something's unhappy. Cool, so you've turned yourself off, as you should. How are you? You're on because the room's too hot. Hey, okay, it's working. Very nice. So now he's got to wait in here until that temperature gets below 20, and the thing should just turn itself off. I'm very happy with how that turned out. I think that went well. So let's grab this. We close you. You should turn back on. What's your temperature right now? Oh, because it was on. Okay. So if I have the fridge open, it'll just turn it on and off because okay, it can still cool itself even when it's off. So let's just wait till it's higher. You know what? It doesn't matter. Like 121 is perfectly good. Well, I suppose we want it to be as the maximum, right? Which is 130. So let's just adjust this. We might as well get maximum storage time because it does affect the spoilage rate. There you go. Basically, well, you know what? Let's call it 129 just in case there's like some weird integer error. Okay, so you've turned yourself on. Now I open the fridge. It's gonna just keep flicking the bean until it's all set. No notes. That's so stupid it works. Okay, it's now 26C. So we should see the wall cooler turn itself off shortly once we get below 25. So it's still on. There we go. It turned itself off. Hell yeah. And now it's just going to kind of wiggle around that space. That's totally fine with a guy like me. Okay. So other than some incessant clicking, that's just going to work now. Okay, we could do a range thing where it's like it turns itself off when it gets to 25 and back on when it gets to 30 or, you know, and it just kind of keeps the room in that range. It's fine. It can just flick on and off for now. I don't mind too much. I'm sure there's a way to muffle that sound in the settings menu if it becomes really annoying. There is a way to affect your audio, like specific sounds. These are more... Yeah, these are more like the notifications. Oh, dude, if they added Korean, I would add that. Honestly, just for the grammar, like for the vocab improvement. I've been immersing myself in Korean recently. And if you asked me specifically to, like, make a sentence, I go, But then when I'm walking around talking to myself, I'm basically having conversations. So we haven't quite hit the confidence levels necessary to actually communicate with people outside of, like, buying food. That I'm pretty good at this point. But, hey, you know, it all adds up. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, chuck this off, drink some water, and get ready for the next day of the rest of your life. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. Thank you all for the totally awesome feedback and love for the series. Magic and I have been enjoying it. I'm glad that you guys are all enjoying the increased pace of these episodes. There has been a lot to get through, and we've been getting through it together. So, myself and the clicking wall will all see you in the next one. Until the next time, boys. Cheers. You made it to the end of the video. Congratulations and thank you. That puts you in the top 3% of viewers. Here's another video that YouTube thinks you're going to like, and here is a list of all the patron and channel member names. If you don't see yours on there, you can find a link down in the description where you can sign up and support this content directly. If your name is on there, well, you probably already know that, huh? So, what are you still doing here?